Alright, hello. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we did Case 1. Oh, even though Case 1 took like 3 parts. But we finished it. And it was great. Once again, I'm laying down because, you know, visual novels, I tend to get pretty comfy during those. So, yeah. I've been streaming for 2 minutes already. Don't worry about that. I'll try to read chat whenever I can. But, you know, for now, I'm just gonna get my controller ready. Make sure the cord's extra long, so, you know, you have lots of controller wiggle room. And yeah, we're gonna start Case 2 today. This is where, we're gonna see new stuff. Go, mouse, go away! Get that off the screen. The Adventure of the,
In a corner of that
something
small,
land.
dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band.
Yeah, there it is.
I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson.
Who's
In front of
Wilson?
us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Yeah, that's terrible. You look like a snake. That's a snack. 9th January, 6:37 a.m. on board the steamship Buria.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray,
Ooh.
do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man
British
was killed.
accents.
No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery.
Better call
In his
Herringway.
final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost
Snakes on a
ink
plane.
from this upset body. A Russian word.
Russian
So, the
again.
victim was a Russian man then, and the letters are well formed.
Coffee's learning
suggesting
Russian right
it was
now.
Quintus Mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script,
No, that's Japanese.
and evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Ooh, nice golden gun you got there.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
Is that your fucking, luminol?
What have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must
Is-
touch before
is that
our friend
fucking
calls
heavy?
come. We must wait. That won't be necessary. You
That guy
see,
sound like heavy.
in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
Where is my sandwich?
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from? I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Yep, everybody loves this guy. Everybody loves him. He's great. He's our detective for this game. They couldn't call him Sherlock Holmes, so they had to settle with Herlock Sholmes, which, in my opinion, is even better. Ugh, my head's throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Trouble with the trolley, eh? We're on the SS On from Pokemon Red. Wait, I can't move. Someone cuffed me. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? I'm gonna assume that's Herlock Sholmes. So you wake up now, Oh, it's one of the sailors. Well, he had a Russian accent, didn't he? We had to drag you out of wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. We found you. And now you pay. Criminal! How long are you hiding in tiny wardrobe, Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. Who's this now? There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, it's Susato. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Damn. What a wimp you are, Ryunosuke. You got fucking convicted by... You've had 2 allegations now, bro. Come on. How? How the fuck do you get allegations twice in the same game? Not even Maya has that happen to her. Where is he? Where's Kazuma? What happened to Kazuma? You pretend you do not know your worth in sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Wait, what? What do you mean his body? Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. There's no way he's dead. No. No, that doesn't add up. His body? Bro, dude is like a main fucking character. He can't die. He has plot armor. Please. Do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Wait, hang on. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Haha. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here. Your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Ugh, I hope not. I got the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. I'm gonna need to remind myself what a stowaway is. Because I've heard that word, but I forgot. I forgot already. Stowaway definition. Definition. A person who stows away. Wow, thanks, Google. Thanks, Google. Pack or store an object carefully and neatly in a particular place. Huh. Okay, well, now that answers that. Here, you know what? Why don't we send, like, a Cerno in chat? Why not? They'll like the Cerno, right? Yeah, you guys like the Cerno. They're sturdy buns, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we can confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. Ah, yeah, we don't want accessories, do we? It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time the steward is supposed to come in and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? Like that's gonna work. Like that's never gonna happen. Am I still doing the first part? What do you mean? Like the first... I'm doing the second case, if that's what you mean. Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer? No, I'm not a murderer. You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but... murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit truth. Susato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I'd like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare's getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Cosmo's death or about the incident? Well, maybe we can do both of them, right? Oh, yeah. Well, you get to pick both of them. Well, let's just do them in order, then. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Cosmo's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? Aren't there 3 games? No. You're thinking of the original Ace Attorney games. There's 3 normal Ace Attorney games. There's only 2 great Ace Attorney games. It comes in a duology like the Miles Edgeworth games. There's no access to the cabin via porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped through these 4 walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is possible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we should learn until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there's no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Can anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. I mean, I guess that's a motive? But that's not a motive. I can't have a motive just because, oh, I know him. Or whatever. No, I'm not in the second game. Come on, this game's like 80 hours. It's gonna be a while before I even get to the second game. And probably after the first game, I'm gonna take a break. Because, like, I'll take a break before I play the second game, chances are. Please. Whatever you say. You were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was. Well, yes, but actually, no. He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at the cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. Ah, and then there's the Russian on the floor. And the white tape there now just shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. Well, yeah, as most crime scenes do. I had no idea anything that had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yeah, alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Ooh, we got some new things. Do Ace Attorney games usually give you, like, 2 new answers? They usually just give you 1, right? Huh, that's interesting. Stowaway. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin this entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No. That would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London's at the spearhead of cultural development. The center of the world in many ways. Well, yeah, why do you think the fucking Pokemon, like, TCGs take place there? How come a visual novel could be this long? Nah, you clearly haven't played an Ace Attorney game then. They're long, man. HowLongToBeat.com says this game's like 80 hours. So, you know, if that's what they have to say, then surely it'll take me 80 hours. Because usually I take longer than the estimate time, because I usually spend a lot of time making stupid jokes and, like, taking sips of drinks and all that crap. So, yeah. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Eh?
Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Yes, maybe. I like the song. Is that his theme, or what? There's something still bothering me a little. In red. The look in his eyes, then. Is darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept a secret from you. By stowing away on this ship, I mean.
If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Last night. I love her little kimono, it's cute.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Well, isn't that convenient? Kazuma brought me here something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself in that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I
Fell asleep?
Well, yeah. Wait, so you're telling me he fucking slept in a closet for 15 days? What the hell? Well, hey, the good thing is Mario RPG games aren't as long. They're like a quarter of the length. Yeah. You have mini games. I was planning to. What do you think I have many games to play this year? I'm already not sure what game I want to play after this. But since I'm gonna be playing this game for a long time, it won't matter too much.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed?
Well, yes. No, don't give me that look. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please forget it.
Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could have possibly done this.
Ugh. Cosma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Ugh, I can't take this.
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
I'm sorry, but Cosmo was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around My hands tied? While whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen.
Well, what do you propose to do then?
I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took out Cosmo's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Oh wait, that was her saying it. What the?
That was a Susato takedown.
Susato what? What martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Sorry? Prove it?
Yes, your innocence. I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to?
Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law.
Wait, so he got convicted twice in the same month then? Well, within 2 weeks of each other. Ah, I see. She expected me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Well, we have this. Can we examine the paper seal? Cosmo, stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. Is there anything behind here? What's this? You can see the remnants of the glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste to use instead. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as I possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any. He used rice as a glue? That's great. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Cosmo reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that, he said? Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. And I think that's it. What about the university pin? My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in, they say. Of course, you can get a new pin made if you can just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I must forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that. Well, that's great. Oh, okay. I was seeing if you would say anything about, like, the little pin. Ah, the symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I like this spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders. A sharp pin for a sharp mind or something? That's great. Time is changing again. Is that why Aaron said he's gonna lose an hour of sleep tonight? Oh, I get it now. Okay. Then I'm gonna have to sleep for 9 hours tonight, don't I? Okay, so it's either the pin or the paper seal.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes it was. I remember it clearly.
Why are we still upside down? This is making me dizzy, bro. I thought so. Cosmo always puts it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Ah. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered your peel...
Fuck, I can't read. Let me read that again.
The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. And can I please get up?
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you.
Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me get up?
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least.
Thank you. So you finally believe me?
I'm sorry, no.
What?
I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position.
What does she think I am, a magician? Yeah, we're not truly right. We can't do that.
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Well, we just gotta gain her trust, that's all. Oh.
I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example.
Right. Well, I mean, that's obvious. Well, anyway, I should make a start investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I'll avenge your death. I'm still not sure if he actually died or not, or if he's just, like, what if his death was, like, faked or something? I don't know. Really? It's daylight savings? Man, the worst time, too. I wanted to play some Star Wars. Alright, well, I can just, like, set my alarm to, like, 9 AM or something, and I'll get an extra hour of sleep. It'll be fine. That's easy. Well, now I see what Aaron meant by losing an hour of sleep. I always forget daylight savings exists. Alright, well, you know what? I'm gonna present everything. Susato-san, about this?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. But we don't have time to waste on anything else. We must find clues.
She looks serious. Really quite deadly serious. And the charm? Okay. Got it? Okay, so we can't present anything. And we've conversed already, so I guess we'll examine. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What if I want to, like, what if I want to, like, bring a cat or something over to England? What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide.
Oh, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here.
Oh dear, that won't do.
Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin.
Alright, I can do that. Yeah, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna look at everything still. Can I look at the lamp? No, I can't. Can't look at the lamp. Investigate thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. If it lights up like this, like the light blue, I can examine it. The Books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way.
And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mown down at once. What if we had, like, I don't know... What if, like, the ship tilted or something, and everything fell over? I don't know. Wait, I think I skipped over that. No, I did read that. Okay, just checking.
I wonder if... Perhaps he was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training. Do you think?
I seriously doubt that.
Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san? In a fit of rage.
I wouldn't bother leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Yeah, maybe we'll find a divinity statue there, too. Because the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Isn't that tampering with the crime scene, though? Can we examine it again? These books are provided for the entertainment of whoever is occupying the cabin, I suppose.
And they must be well looked after. You mustn't damage any of the ship's property.
But it wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are in a mess.
Well, that seems to be everything. What about this box? This is bothering me.
That's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside the case. Damn, Cosmos will be fucking ripped then if he can carry Naruhodo on that entire fucking case. Holy shit.
Ah, yes. I see it says, "This way up" in Japanese.
Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. Ha ha ha, I can't read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh damn, that would make me sick, bro.
Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. What about this ink on the floor? Can we examine that? No? Well, we can obviously examine the outline. Did Kazuma-san write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor.
Well, can't we, like, examine it for fingerprints or something? You know, typical. I'll sleep whenever the hell I want, man. You can't tell me when to go to bed. You're not Morgana.
Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it.
But why would Kazuma know Russian? That doesn't make any sense. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. That doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would Kazuma write in Russian?
I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san.
What? Then, what language is it?
It pains me to admit it, but I don't know.
It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? So I read the ink. I love it. I love the little check mark. Oh wait, what's this? What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Looked like a bell from a little bit there. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. Nah, come on. I think Kazuma would love wearing a kimono. He seems like that kind of guy. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around him, would he? Don't judge. Don't judge.
And the mark beside it, What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue.
Yes, you're right. It's the color of the brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else inside this cabin. Well, I can examine his sword.
That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his trip.
I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like seeing her sad. Yo, what's up, guard? Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke.
He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty.
He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Niet, of course not. Now back to corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Do I have to talk to him again, or what? What about the door?
When I wait for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed.
Huh. It's quite a small bolt. Not particularly sturdy. And it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there'll be no way to get in or out of this cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Where'd she get that book from? The fuck?
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There'd be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
No, stop looking at me like that. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. I see a scroll. Seigi, the Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet you, can you really look at these characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Not thoroughly. Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Here comes the stern look again.
Even though you stowed away on this ship?
Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. We got a table.
There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama.
No. Well, can we examine the food? That's my dinner from last night. Roast chicken. It was really tasty. Tasty. Coffee told me how to say tasty in Japanese today. I think it was like yoishi or something like that.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. Well, if the books got knocked over, then that probably means the plate fell on the floor too, right?
But Cosmo-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right. He didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me.
Oh no! Does that mean... poor Cosmo-san spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? This is too horrible.
I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Well, don't forget that we can turn the camera around. Oh, wait, we can only... Okay. We can only turn it 2 different ways. Okay, well, we didn't look at... The dialogue's the same. We can look at the table.
This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing.
Ooh, nice. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination.
It looks as though the last entry is incomplete.
Which means, what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. Could be a valuable clue.
Hiya! That's out of the question.
What?
Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. Okay, we're not gonna get to know, or what?
Poor Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Maybe later then. And we got the wardrobe.
It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description. My bro sleeps in a fucking closet.
Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
Oh, I want to write that down, because that's funny. The thought of, like... Yeah, him living in a closet. He lives in a closet. Funniest shit I ever seen. He lives in a closet. God damn, I can't type correctly. Alright, here we go. All good. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. Bro, he wasn't even halfway through living in the closet. He was like a third of the way there.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No, sadly not. Alright, what about the bed? Is the bed important? No, bed's not important. What about this thing? This is important, though.
This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean, contraption?
I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Oh, hell yeah, make them your slaves. Really? That sounds almost magical. Big think. Shall we give it a little try?
Yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Ding ding. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
Damn it, those racist scumbags. No, I'm sure it's just everyone's busy, that's all. There's a vent up here. Sus among us?
think there's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin.
And where the imposter goes. Which is sus. Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to, you're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that.
I suppose. Maybe that's it. What the fuck happened here? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I could tell, looks like he might be European.
Oh, how did he...
You noticed the man too, have you? I got no ideas or how he got here, but he looks sus. And tall. Suspiciously tall.
Naruhodo-san, don't tell me... Do you really not know who that is?
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Cosmo's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk to him.
Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press Ant on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them.
Alright then. I'll get that sus tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say.
Oh, please do.
Wait, what is he doing? Is he just like laying? What is he doing? I can't tell. Like, is he laying on the table? Excuse me. Wait, he's on top of the table. What the fuck is he doing? Excuse me, do you have a moment? Hush. This is incredibly point in my investigation. I don't know what voice to give him yet. I'll find something out.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Wait, fuck, that was Rianowski talking to him. Shit.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best.
Greetings! I didn't even get to finish that. What exactly were you doing on Cosmo's desk just now? He's got banger music, though. Oh, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything's clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign crimes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least.
But how?
Oh, dude, he's got a pipe, hell yeah. How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the Berry Bond of occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that surmises the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. I think that voice will do just fine for him. Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill.
So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama.
What?
And you're plotting a revolution, too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked.
No, listen. There's no way I...
Hiya!
Does she, like, fucking suplex me onto the floor or something?
Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is ridiculous.
How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You're just saying the first thing that came in your head. Ah, but that was I not right? Whilst venturing to avoid crimes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, hmm? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. He's kind of got, like, a bit of the merchant voice, but, like, with British tone in it. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes.
So, it's really you? The actual Sherlock Sholmes?
The very same, the inimitable actual Sherlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san?
The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
What planet have I been living on, then?
We must ask him what he's deduced. He'll have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Oh, I get to talk to this handsome gentleman? Don't mind if I do. Mr. Sholmes, what do you make of this? Quiet. When I'm ruminating in the course of my deductions, nothing must disturb my mind. Oh, so sorry. Ah, an Indian curry, perhaps. What's he ruminating about? The lunch menu? Just checking. Does the paper seal do anything? I've never seen anything like this. Most extraordinary writing.
He said the same earlier this morning, I think.
Indeed, but its uncommonness is so remarkable, I feel the same to say to new. Yes, I do believe. These characters must be as crude attempt at Japanese script. What?
Mr. Naruhodo, I don't like to be the one to tell you this, but I think Mr. Sholmes is trying to say your handwriting's a little untidy.
Is he making fun of me? Wait a minute, I have a question. In British text, do they not have the period when they're referring to, like, Mr. or Doctor or Mrs.? Because I noticed they've done that twice so far. either way, I don't suppose there's anything else I can examine, right? Oh, no, that's the same. Okay. Let's talk to this handsome devil. Great detective. So you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Ron's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Oh yeah, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories, you started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presenting Keeping Shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Wait a minute, that's the guy who got killed in the previous case. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. I mean, with a fucking pose like that, are you really gonna take him seriously? Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. Man, I'm liking this voice I got for him so far. It's working, man.
A science?
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furs in the skin, all of these are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look at me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn for both observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. I can see why people like this dude so much already. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in this most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
When I became anxious about Cosmo-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin open.
And I considered myself along their number, getting entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Herlock Sholmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh really? Two facts, you say? Ooh, two facts. Holy shit, we're getting so much new information. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came in this cabin this morning? Oh yes, but first, let's be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. But what were they? Allow me to elucidate.
The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
I love how he says number 2, but he still holds up one finger.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor.
Well, yeah, obviously it's written in Russian.
That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
Can I, I wonder if I can actually get this... I wonder if I can actually translate this. Here, we're gonna do a fancy bit of Google Translate to find out how to say that word, because you know, I'm dedicated to my craft. All right, let me close my stream for a minute. We're gonna try and see how you say this.
Гардероб.
Wait, hang on. Hear that again?
Гардероб.
Garderobe. That's how you say wardrobe. Alright. Okay, just wanted to, you know, get that out of the way.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find their native tongue fitting their head. For this young man, Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he? He was not Russian, bro. He wouldn't have a fucking Japanese name otherwise, would he?
Initially, I considered Godrobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Guard, perhaps.
Robert Guard?
But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly.
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message that I might analyze it for possible hidden details.
Where'd the music go? You can't just interrupt my music like that.
This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed.
Yeah, Kazuma already had been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. That's sad. That's so sad.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I know she's starting to call me Mr. Naruhodo now instead of Naruhodo-san. Oh, yes, thank you. The photograph of the crime scene has been added. The Russian word for wardrobe in purple ink would appear to have written in the victim's final moments. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
What, pray?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that?
Oh yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth.
Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? I don't know what that word is.
Certainly, if it interests you.
Many times, I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. Your deduction just now. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you conclude about me, I mean?
Ah, the now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in.
Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part?
Ah, yes, The more sordid details, it was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port of that call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Cosmo a Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Cosmo saw around on the floor.
It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was actually the same merciless revolutionary. One who had killed the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik.
No. How could it be me? I don't like anything like this man. Just look at his face.
Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well.
Ugh, please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower.
Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all these particulars in the article. The deeds the man has portrayed thus far, and those he's plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. I guess in the 1800s, a Japanese man probably wouldn't know anything about Afghanistan. Wait, no, this is like early 1900s, not 1800s. Whatever.
Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction.
Oh, thank you.
I've absorbed all that there's of interest for me within the pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
Rubbish bin. I love that word. I gotta start using that, man. An article on the front page of a Russian newspaper. The headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
And you may find the article on the back of the page of interest as well.
On the back?
Cast your eye over it sometime if that interests you, though you may need someone to interpret.
It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Well, I never looked at the crime scene photograph yet. There's not really a lot. I can't really deduce a whole lot from this. And article... Whoa, what the fuck is this? This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed this article.
Ah!
Allow me to give a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She's, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It appeared the woman was in costume when she found to be missing from a dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novik Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company's most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
So the article about the ballerina has been entered in the court record. So wait, the back of the newspaper is his own court record thing now? An article on the back of page of a Russian newspaper. The headline reads, "Renowned prima ballerina of the Novik Ballet disappears from Shanghai." Well, I'm glad we had a look at that. We could also read about the front page, too. Why not?
I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian.
No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia being Shanghai." Yes, he told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale.
Oh my goodness, he is fearsome.
Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he?
The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off.
I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, at least we got that funny, tacky, conversation. So wait, now... Okay, so we get the clipping, basically, as its own thing. We can also look at the people from the case. Cosma Sogi, 23, certified lawyer, my best friend. He was on his way to London for a study tour when he was taken from this world. Susato Mikitoba, 16, a judicial assistant who was traveling with Cosma to London for a study tour. She is the epitome of a refined Japanese lady. And Herlock Sholmes, 34, damn. He looks good for 34. There's not a person in this world who hasn't heard of this famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently. What you were investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Cosmo's desk, weren't you?
Cosma? Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim.
Yeah, the diary. You were like, your fucking head was glued to the desk, bro. Like, what the hell?
We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text.
London diary. Cosmo was keeping notes of the trip.
Ah, but... And that's a big but.
I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Tragic. And something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san, are you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
She's so cute. Life is so unfair.
Anyway, to return on the matter at hand, namely this diary belonged to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to the details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese?
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, Banzai, Mikado, Naruhado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Bro, that's like basic fucking Japanese, bro.
But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I could read precisely none.
So it was all about that showing off before then?
If you'd be so kind to show me, I'd be happily to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
Whistling sound?
These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? Oh, there's the speckled band again.
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. His diary has been centered in the court record. Or entered, not centered. A diary Cosmo was keeping on his trip. According to the last entry he made before his death, he spied what appeared to be a speckled band.
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time, at least.
Do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose... You're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation.
Exaltation? Like, why can't I read, bro?
So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No. That would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
A simple glance at your wrists should reveal the answer.
Well, obviously.
Oh, these... After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No?
There's no point to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point.
You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Holy shit, he actually faced me head on. He hasn't done that yet.
Dear me, you're clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really.
So what, you were looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now.
What do you mean?
What I mean, sir, is this. If you're the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha.
Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for?
Huh?
We must go ahead and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What are these? There's no way I can... Hiya! Have to cut... Wait, oh, wrong voice.
After Cosmo spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Cosmo to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is that...
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes. What can I do for you?
Wait a minute. It's this guy again. I recognize that face, but it can't be. What the fuck are you doing here, man? It is.
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Is this dude gonna be in every case? He's just be like, I'm an undercover waiter now, or I'm an undercover, like, what's another job? I'm an undercover security guard, or, I'm an undercover garbage man. Or rubbish man, I guess I should say.
Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I could do to help you, please ask.
I never expected to see this man on board.
But perhaps
his presence can help me out with this helpless situation.
Alright, well, I'm gonna present some shit to you, man. Nope, not that. Wrong button.
Inspector, can I show you this?
What the? Is that a fabled Imperial Yume University pin badge?
I'm not sure if it's really fabled exactly, but...
So, you're a genuine student then?
Sorry?
Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say?
Can I have my badge back, please? What about the seal?
Ah, this is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe the doors this morning, wasn't it?
That's right. To try to stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me.
Wouldn't it have been better to write it in English if you didn't know Russian?
Maybe, but Ofuda paper amulets like this are part of our culture, Inspector. And I thought if I made it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside.
It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it?
What about the crime scene? Have you seen this photograph yet, Inspector?
Oh dear. Are you alright, Inspector?
He seems to have gotten a reaction out of that. Yeah, sorry, I'm fine. I was hoping to hide my upset with a fit of coughing and spluttering. I'm usually very good at it. But trying to stifle my feelings seems to have stifled my cough this time.
It's all so sad.
Asogi-san was such a promising young man. The Empire had such high hopes for him. I had such high hopes for him, even though I'm just a detective.
We're all gonna miss you, Kazuma.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him. Article about Revolutionary.
Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector?
I'm sorry, but I can't read Russian very well.
Oh no, that's alright. I know what it says.
So you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents, is that it?
Sorry?
Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say?
Sorry. Forget I mentioned it.
What about the ballerina?
Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector?
I think it's gonna be the same thing, actually. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. Those are the same. Cosmo's Diary. What's that?
It's Cosmo's diary.
Just before he died, Cosmo-san wrote something rather strange in his diary.
And we got the funny, what is the name of that? It's like a xylophone, right? It's a xylophone. It sounds like a xylophone. The xylophone players are having fun back there. Strange? In what way?
He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill."
That's cute. She was using like her reading book sprite for the diary. A speckled band? That is strange.
Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
It's a very nice looking vent, though. Looks better than most vents I've seen. The ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin.
That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain's given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove these handcuffs, though.
But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders?
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just like moving, we can leave this cabin at last.
But I didn't finish talking to him. I wasn't done talking to him yet. Like, I didn't even get to converse with him at all. Special orders.
So what are your special orders this time, Inspector?
Yeah, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
His funny glasses. I'm so sorry.
Huh?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Damn. My man's almost as he's as important as the fucking Prime Minister, dude.
Assassinated? How could that even been a possibility?
I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Cosmo-san was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his old cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san's dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So if there's anything at all I can do to help you now, just say the word. Permission to investigate. Yeah, I kind of teared up there a bit. What the hell? Can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain's giving me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going as his direct orders? Oh yeah, we've read this. Yeah, we read this. Oh, okay. So this is kind of a repeat of what I did. Weird. How the hell did that happen? That's weird. Alright. Oops, wrong button again. See, normally I press square to go back, but circle is go back now. It's confusing, because it's using Xbox controls. We can move Cosmo's cabin, a cabin on the SS Buria, and the scene of the crime was Cosmo was occupying this cabin for the voyage of Britain, along with me as a stowaway. Cosmo-sama's quarters. First and foremost, we must get out of the cabin. Also, I forgot to read that. January 9th, SS Buria, first class cabin, passageway. I'm finally out of that cabin. We got some clean-looking backgrounds. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes, indeed. Cosmo-san was being sent on a study tour by the government. That's why he's being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage.
Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. There's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous. Even if he's sitting down. He's like Igor, dude.
The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose... like people in handcuffs?
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already.
Well, yeah, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Cosmo's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. So he never left the room the entire time.
It must have been a very trying time for you.
Damn, if he can barely survive 2 weeks of being in a closet, I doubt he'd be able to survive fucking lockdown. Quarantine ass. I know we're not in quarantine anymore, but still. Please, don't give me that pitying look. Alright, well, I kind of want to talk to the big guy. Excuse me, but can I ask you something?
You little stowaway murderer!
That wasn't a good start, was it?
Alright, let me try instead.
Yeah, he likes talking to women. He'll fall for it.
Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class lady's maid?
Oh. Never mind, I guess he doesn't make any exceptions.
Oh.
We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Susato-san.
I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I'm Zero Crewman. Beef Stroganoff.
Stroganoff? Like the fucking pasta? Or whatever? Beef stroganoff? No? Okay.
Ugh, the best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think.
Now, I gotta give him the fucking Heavy voice, dude. He has the exact same voice as Heavy from TF2.
Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area?
Here we are now in finest part of Borea steamship, for very first persons.
Sort of very important persons.
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons.
So it's like VIP then. Okay, I gotcha.
That is why I'm always guarding place.
Gosh, that's amazing.
But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal.
Thank you.
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Ah,
Wait, Susato-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like, "Da." I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no.
Well, I've played Paper Mario TTYD, so I understand a bit of Russian. It's really funny that the Russian that I know is from that game. Genius.
it is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, it sounds like there's somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes. It's tantalizing.
Passenger in the next door cabin. Man, I love this, like, ambience of the ship. It's very relaxing. There's no music. I like it, though. Passenger in next door cabin.
Did you tell us he was traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's?
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna tell you that. Oh, he is, okay.
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylat. He's very important Western gentleman.
A Western gentleman?
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylat is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Island.
That was harsh.
Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard?
That is not your business.
Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there.
Maybe they just have good noise suppression on the walls. Who knows?
Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right?
That is not your business. I must eat my sandwich.
Last night.
Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff?
He said semen.
Duh, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all?
It is sad about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
And did you notice anything at that time? Anything unusual?
Ah!
I think that means,
Niet.
Susato-san, did you understand that?
It was clearly a no.
I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noises? Or sense anything was wrong in some way?
I said no!
Sorry. I'm not so sure.
could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment. Yeah, he looked kind of sad, which is unusual.
This is enough. I cannot say more now.
Oh.
It is time for me to report the captain. You must return to the cabin.
Yeah, alright. Oh, but I didn't get to read everything. I should probably investigate before talking to people then next time.
Bulkhead to second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when lobster whistles on top of mountain, or as English say, when the pigs fly.
Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Oh, we get to investigate now. Oh, nice. Okay, good. Definitely. Okay, awesome. Alright, well, let's start from right to left then. How about that? That's the way to the second class area of the ship. So wait, is first class most... He said first class was most important, so how many classes are there? Like, if you're third class, wouldn't that mean you're, like not as important then, I guess? It's kind of like the opposite of, like, 5 stars, you know? If you're 5 stars, you know, you're the best. Compared to if you're, like, 3 stars or something, I don't know. It's weird. Is something wrong? I was thinking about making a run for it, just for a moment. Things aren't exactly going well for me. I might be wrong, but I imagine the moment you reach for the handle of the door, that burly seaman would surely shoot you dead. Oh dear, I'm sorry. Perhaps I went a little too far there. No, I started with my talk of running away. There's no way I could run away while Cosmo's death remains a mystery anyway. Oh, what's this? Is this like a pamphlet? That book on the top of the table there is really huge. There's a pen with it, too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing's so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. Huh. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Well, usually the big burly ones have the best hearts. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Huh. Weird. Alright, let me just look around. There's a ship section. This looks like the plan of the SS Buria. Shows each deck. Look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hulk, with a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they're enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. That's your logic, I like it. We got a door.
I got to get to the door.
This is it.
This is it, Luigi.
This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Excuse me. Oh, I should probably take a drink then, if I'm fucking coughing up a storm over here. Ah, there we go. Good juice. Yes, the ventilator from which Cosmo-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Yeah, wake the fuck up. Yo, it's Cyrus. Open up. Open the fuck up. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. We got a little funny sign over here. Oh, is that a fire? Is that a fire bell or something? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm.
Oh, okay, I was right.
It's probably best not to touch it.
Well, I said fire bell, but you know, that's what I was trying to say, the fire alarm, you know. Oh, an alarm.
It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, this I have to see.
What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it.
But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs.
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for.
She got all pouty at me.
If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
Bro, I think this has to be like the most expressive Ace Attorney characters have ever been. Like, they're so expressive in this game. I love it. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes.
I shan't be stopped. When the fate is on me, I revel in the kicking doors off the hinges.
Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted.
It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What prey can I kick?
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Away we go. Ooh, shit's getting good. First class cabin number 2.
Who are you?
A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin.
Why does he have scissors? Who does he think he is? The fucking scissor man from Clock Tower? True, this old man does appear to be the only one in here. But in that case, who just screamed?
Get out, all of you, now.
Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe.
Yes, that's me, and you are?
I'm the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt.
No.
I'm a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the cover of popular magazines, no less. Also, I assure you, you may trust me completely.
Man, he uses that magazine like a business card. I mean, it's effective, though.
A detective? I do not trust detectives.
Well, I should probably give him a Russian accent then, right? Right?
We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold to ask you to open that small traveling case?
What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that?
Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk.
Don't look at me.
Oh my. Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the case just shook.
Leave now. Otherwise, I'll call Steward.
So this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man's hiding something.
I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
Well, let's examine first. Why is he in the fucking... do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? Why is he in the fucking wardrobe?
You need only address me as Sholmes.
That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there?
Why, I was resting, of course.
Resting?
Indeed, I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service.
Oh.
And it would seem that hour's upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken?
Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once.
Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians.
Right.
Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he got so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it?
Oh, yes, please.
Well then, what are you about to see may well astound you.
I have seen this, for the record, so, yeah.
For I'm about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case.
He does like a funny detective dance or something.
Could this man be a more hackneyed betrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of this dubiousness?
I really don't think either of those should be occurring to you, or anyone.
That's right. And Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment.
I must have complete silence.
What are you doing? Why are you peeling on my face like that?
Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now.
Hmm?
There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions.
What do you mean?
Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you're about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not?
Oh?
And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not?
Oh.
Oh, Naruhodo-san. I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes.
That was a great deduction.
Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person.
What? What ineffable twaddle.
Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, and now I've experienced the astonishing impact of this great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true.
I can hardly believe it, but all the colors drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right.
How could you?
How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well, then. I shall elucidate.
Can I check what that word means? He said it like 3 fucking times now. God damn it. It says make something clear or explain. So he'll make it clear, you know?
I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So I do cautiously invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us aboard the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together.
Ooh, the great deduction. The game is afoot. What the fuck? Topic 1, conclusion. Old man's identity.
So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Royler, obviously what catches the eye in the first place.
This is new.
Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand?
Well, there's an exclamation there.
Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on this matter. Regard, if you will, the morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott.
Another exclamation.
I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik Flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard.
he's just like teleporting around the room. Do fucking Sherlock Holmes be the fucking final boss of the game? He like just teleports all around the place and shoots fire at you.
Having noted the article yourself, you decide to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. A revolutionary on the run.
There's a topic 2 now? Wrongdoing.
Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see?
Oh.
And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that travelling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare.
No, I refuse.
What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps? One slight enough to fit therein?
Don't be absurd.
And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the travelling case? Dear me, we are not well suited for a life of crime, are we? Your careless culo betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your travelling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page... Renowned prima ballerina of the Novak Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of an abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Lemensky.
That was fucking great. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it?
Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow.
Probably because it was in person? I don't know. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Can you come over here for a moment?
Pray, what can I do for you?
It's about your deductions. Would you mind?
Not at all. Go on.
Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... these two men look nothing like each other.
Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance.
In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Royal does look more like this man than you do.
That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina.
Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman.
Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard.
I don't suppose the missing ballerina's a 5-year-old child, is she?
You mean you don't know? No, the young lady's 15.
No, I didn't know. How could I?
Well, if she's 15, then 10 years worth of her will be poking out from the case.
Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their bodies.
Vinegar?
For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case.
Oh dear. You might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes.
This whole thing is turning into a circus. You're the entire circus.
Mr. Naruhodo, something has occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observations are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off.
Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato.
It's just one or two key words in his deduction that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if he might perhaps tactically switch them for alternatives. What do you think?
Switch some key words in his deductions?
Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction.
Precisely the thought that I was going through my own mind.
This man's a lot of work.
At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me.
It's not that funny.
Ah, and you, my good fellow.
Sorry.
Take a moment to look at your wrists.
My wrists?
Ah, where are your handcuffs?
Huh? How did...
I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction.
I don't believe it.
Mr. Sholmes, you're a marvel!
And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished.
I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this.
So, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
Alright. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. This is cool, man. So I think we want to go to where, like, the question mark or exclamation mark pop up. Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Are we gonna have to go through this? Oh, here we go.
I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard?
I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though.
It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Royal either.
Oops, wrong button again. Which means I suppose the deduction is wrong.
Let's try switch a keyword in here, Mr. Naruhodo-san, and see if it helps matters.
Mr. Naruhodo-san. Great. I'm fucking this up terribly. Alright, but how?
I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Royal.
I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on.
Exactly. If we do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better...
Then what?
Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san.
Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in that sentence. What exactly was Mr. Royal going to use those enormous shears for? Maybe, his hair? Thick... Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic. Thick hat. Golden locks. What the fuck are those doing there? What the? What's this?
It looks like a cascade of stunning golden locks.
No, the color's not the point. The point is, what's it doing on the back of Mr. Royal's head? And how's it growing out from underneath his thick black hair?
Well, yes, that's true. So it's stunningly beautiful, and stunningly surprising.
Something's definitely not right here. So, can we present this? Well, I want to hear what he has to say about everything else. The thick hat. It's a very thick hat, isn't it?
Ah, that's the secret you see in Naruhodo-san, don't you know?
Secret? What?
Well, before we left Japan,
My voice keeps cracking on her. What the fuck?
I took some time to study various foreign countries. Russia's a land of unimaginable cold. And a thick hat's the secret to keeping warm. Without one, I read that your brain would freeze. That was just one of many fascinating snippets of information in Oh Mother, Not Russia.
I think maybe you picked the wrong book there. Well, I don't think there's anything else, so...
Yes!
Yes! The golden locks. Oh, now Naruhodo's doing it. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport.
Indeed, you've identified the precise detail I was intending to expose.
Snip, snip.
Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man.
You're not a man at all. You're a woman. And judging from the length and sheen of your hair...
One's still very much in their youth.
Oh no. If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected.
The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of those magnificent locks? Once again, the answer's plain. We have clearly evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary.
Ah. Well, that was a shock.
I had no idea that old man was really a young woman disguised, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that?
Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Sorry?
You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes.
I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly
Yes, I understand. Say no more.
Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit in the facts at all now.
No, that's true. Given that Mr. Royla is actually a woman.
Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary.
I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole is taking a different direction now.
Yes.
Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them.
For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Okay, well, obviously, it's the article about Ballerina.
Yes!
Yeah, there we go. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovik Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of Novovik Ballet prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Oh! Oh, here we go. Damn, she's pretty.
You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone.
Ah, ballerina on the run. Solved. And now we have this thing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Wait, I don't need to read these. I don't know why I'm reading them again. It's just so fun to do the Sholmes voice. Yeah, that. Bang. This woman's the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly, she can't be inside that traveling case as well.
No, that's right. It seems he wasn't abducted at all.
In which case, what is the crime this young woman's apparently committing? I can see I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again.
You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes?
Stop it! Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman's up to. Okay. Traveling case. Wait a minute. There's a tiara here. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara.
I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds, you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on.
What, me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on?
Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful.
Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently. Well, we also have the traveling case. It's a very small case, isn't it? You can see instantly that no person could possibly fit inside there.
So does that tell us that Miss Pavlova's telling glance in this direction was focused on something else?
If that's true, though, it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Well, if there's nothing incriminating inside this case, why does she refuse to let us look inside?
Yes, I wonder why. Perhaps she has a perfectly harmless reason, though.
Well, I think obviously we're gonna want to present the tiara.
Yes!
Yes! The proof of your crime is surely this tiara.
Ah,
I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novik Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you've committed is theft.
oh no.
Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you.
Ah. I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was present from, how do you say, an earl? Or Prussia. It belongs to me.
This girl's only 15 years old. She's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely.
Alright, I'll tell you everything. There's no point to hiding it now.
Come, let us not be hasty.
What?
There remains one unsolved mystery about you.
Mystery? What do you mean?
You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It's reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there is some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? You careless kudo, what trades you? Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now.
I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to changing circumstances, don't you?
Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf and all this?
The fucking bookshelf.
It's just a wild guess, surely.
Oh, do you think so?
Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her.
Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself.
Then there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn.
I agree. That's the only answer.
Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase.
What if it's the painting? Small picture.
It's a charming little picture, isn't it?
What is it? Someone climbing a steep mountainside?
Or descending one, it seems to me.
When you've been on the flat sea for a while, maybe you start seeing hills, mountains, and everything.
Doesn't seem that important. Well, there's the rules of passage.
These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Beria. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. It might be a pet. There's exactly the same notice in our cabin, too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. Oh dear. I'm sure the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. You'd probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean. Or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now? Have I? I think it's this.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents.
And
it's moving, so it must be a pet. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time. But no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova, inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules as for passage. A pet. Ah! We've done it, guys. Possession of a prohibited animal. Ding. That was great. Deduction complete. Oh, those are great, man. I'm so glad. See, it's been so long since I've seen, like, the trailer for the, deduction dance that I kind of forgot about most of this, so that was great. So clearly you aren't who you said you were.
no, I'm not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct.
You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard the vessel. This couldn't have been easy. The Bury is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could you really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to women, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable thinking little bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they'd come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself? So no one would recognize me? As a result, you transforming yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw a newspaper. Right on the page, there's a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they'd find me. So I decided to cut all my hair, and as fastly as possible. I picked up scissors in my hand and...
At that precise moment, we walked into the annoyingly unlocked cabin door.
Things happen like that sometimes, don't they?
Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case?
I want to guess it's a cat. A cat makes the most sense to me.
You're right. It's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew...
Your secret is safe with us, I assure you, lass. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night.
Oof, this is a long investigation, man. I've been going for almost 3 hours.
Yes, alright. I'll tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something? Mr. Shulm's great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible.
Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing.
Oh, yes? What?
Observe your wrists.
My...
Ah, your hands are cuffed again.
What? But how?
Choose my word, I've restored your shackles.
When and why?
There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it? Really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Cosmo-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Oh, okay. Alright, well... I'm gonna present everything to you. Can I show you this? I'm actually a university student from the Empire of Japan, you see.
That means nothing to me.
No, why would it?
Mr. Naruhodo, if you return to flaunt your Yume badge, at least choose a Japanese person who might recognize it.
Mr. Susato, can I show you this?
Maybe later.
Oh, I can show Inspector Hosonaga, too. Well, I already did, so yeah. Actually... I'm gonna be honest, guys. This is a long... So far, this is a really long investigation, so... I'm gonna call it here for tonight. It's kind of abrupt, I know. But I've been going for 2.5 hours, and there seems to be no signs of it stopping yet. So... yeah. I'm gonna call it here. I don't know how much of this is left. Like, for all I know, there could be half an hour left. But I don't want to keep going, because, I'm getting a bit tired. It's 11 p.m. right now. Actually, it's 11:30 right now. Jesus. And, yeah, I want to get going for the night. So, as always, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to me on YouTube and twitch.tv/minusbros. And, tomorrow I will see you guys. Me and Zeppy are gonna play some New Super Mario Bros. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called. New Super Mario Bros. Yeah. Mario vs. Luigi, is what I meant to say. That'll be fun. And then, Zach's also probably gonna play some Meme of Light for us, I think? Yeah, I think so. Alright, well, I will see you then. Bye!